Britney Spears or NSYNC got their moves? Here's your chance to get the inside look at how it's done. With Darren's Dance Cruise, the new video that breaks down the moves and shows you how to do them step by step.
We step back on our right leg and then move forward. It is definitely the best choreographer of all time.
His unique street-style dance steps have been featured in music videos, award shows, and concerts seen around the world.
Dancing's all about having fun. Now you can get down with my new video. Ain't no lie.
Now these fresh moves are available for you to learn.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you guys there.
Darren will show you
I'm so
his brand
embarrassed.
new pop and lock routine.
I break it down so you can...
All right, welcome to episode 46. Do not adjust your picture quality. I really am this handsome. I don't know how much energy I'm going to have with this. I literally just filmed an hour and 10 minutes of it. And when I put it on my computer to edit, it was a bzzz over the entire freaking thing. I made the mistake of getting rid of that arm I had connected to this mic. I'm putting the smaller one because the other one was in my face right here. And I guess I didn't plug something back in the right way. Hopefully I'm not making that mistake again. If I film another hour and it doesn't go, I'm going to be so pissed off. This is the episode I was going to do like a week and a half ago or so about why are we falling so far behind the rest of the state in football. Most of you know where I stand behind that already. I get the whole demographics and we don't have a certain type of athlete down here, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I still stand behind my statement that the gap doesn't have to be as big as it is. The gap does not have to be as big as it is, whether we can ever be on an even playing field with the rest of the state or not. From the Houston, Dallas area, yada, yada. The gap doesn't have to be what it is. It's basically what I'm saying. But I'm going to get into some of your comments first from the people that commented from the post I made a week and a half ago. And then because I made a post today about Cal Allen and how they were able to compete with Alito a few years ago, I'm going to get into the comments on that one also. But first, let me get to the one that I had posted a week and a half ago where you guys participate. I can't read everything. There's like 46 comments on this one and then like another 40 on the new one. And so I can't read every single comment. But I'll try and get to as many as possible. Aaron MC says, some of these answers are so funny. People think they got big city schools all figured out. It all starts with coaching. Yes, the bigger the city, the more opportunity, but the Valley has untapped talent.
This is Zapato, homie. I'm already fucking realized here. I'm already fucking knowing this fucking talent.
And that falls on the compadre system of coaches down here. Everyone looking to give their buddy a chance, regardless of quality, experience, qualifications. I get it, man, because I remember... you hear stories about the Valley. I'm not from the Valley, so I don't know everything goes on the Valley, but you see stories and... There's another forum where we talk sports. If any of you guys want to go join, I'll put the website here somewhere on the screen. You want to go and talk sports without anyone knowing who you are, like on Facebook, where your name and your face and everything are there. You can go and create an account, your own whatever username you want. I don't have that luxury of people not knowing who I am anymore because in that forum everyone knows who I am. A lot of us have chosen to we've gotten together. Some of us on that forum. Man, I've been on there since 2011 now. I still 12 years, going at 13 years. So over the years, a lot of us have gotten together and we've met and we've had beers and talked sports at places. So anyway, I'll put the website here somewhere on the screen if you guys want to go join and talk sports somewhere else other than just Facebook or wherever. But yeah, he's right, man, because you see a lot of things even on that forum about the compadre system in the Valley, I guess. Someone from the Valley, you can chime in the comment section, let us know. Even a local coach had gotten the head coaching job there at Coachella a few years ago and was let go 5 games into the season. They didn't even give him a full season. It's just crazy the way things were operated down the Valley. But yeah, this is his untapped talent, where he says untapped talent in the Valley, and even like I'm saying here too in South Texas, the Coastal Bend. Untapped talent is my basic argument for all this. It's not that if we work our asses off, we have a team down here that's gonna be able to beat Duncanville or DeSoto. It ain't gonna happen. It'd be nice if we could ever get to that place someday, but that's not my argument right now. We have untapped talent down here is what I'm saying. And the gap doesn't have to be as big as it is. I'll get more into all my opinions after I read a few more of these things. It's just like I said, there's a lot of people comment, so it's hard. Many in North, Elliot Ojeda says, many in North and Central Texas don't have an off-season. They move straight into off-season playing rugby. Also, they move straight into season 7 versus 7 and tournament play. Indoor training and facilities are top-notch. The premier teams like Liberty Hill, Westlake, etc., they started Pop Warner running the same high school basic plays, so by the time they're in high school, it's already muscle memory. He says nutrition also. The kids at premier schools have nutritionists and guides. Here's where I'll mention something that I forgot to mention while I was filming and saying. The one pushback I'll give on what I just mentioned right now about this guy's comment about the muscle memory by the time they're in varsity because they run the same system from the 7th grade on up to the high. I mean, that can be a negative also. I mean, you do nothing but run, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, because that's what you're going to do in the varsity. Then by the time you get to varsity, look at Cal Allen, for instance. What happens when they need big pass plays? You don't got the receivers for stuff like that because they haven't been developed from the 7th grade on up. You've been running nothing but wing tee, 7th grade, wing tee, 8th grade, run. So I don't know, like, the whole muscle memory thing, because you're running the same thing from the 7th grade on up. That can be a good thing. I mean, it can also be a bad thing, like I just said, man. You're not developing a certain type of player in the 7th, 8th, 9th grade. You got no receivers by the time you're in the varsity. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I mean, especially when I'm getting a new coach. Whatever you get a new coach, you get rid of this coach that does nothing but run, and then you get a new coach that is a pass-heavy coach, man. He has to start all over because he's got no receivers to work with. Because from the 7th grade on up, all you did was wing tee, run every play. So I don't know, man. I guess there's good and bad to that stuff. Support with supplements, etc. Discounts for student athletes at Smoothie King or Juice Land. Ask these kids down south what they're eating post-game and pre-game. It's tamales and chicken fried steak. Don't knock tamales like that, dude. Tamales are legit. But I get his point, man. You see, man, I've been filming games, roaming sidelines since 2017, and so you see a lot of it, man. You just see so many little skinny kids down here, and don't tell me that that's just all because a certain type of athlete or we don't have them down here. We're not hitting the weight room, clearly not hitting the weight room the way the teams you see from up north that make the semis and finals every year are. You aren't just born like that. You know, you see a team like Alito, those kids aren't born looking like that just because they're born in a certain place or a certain ethnicity or whatever. Those are kids that work their ass off. They know they want to get to the next level, play at the college level. And so they practice that way year round, man. There's not enough kids around this area that eat, breathe, and sleep high school football as opposed to, like, they do it for baseball, man. You see these kids and they're still playing baseball in August when football's already starting, and I don't get that, man. I don't get why. Anyway, I go on and on forever on that. My number one fan from Cal Allen, Teresa DeSaro. She says, "Damn, Sergio, you're so handsome." And then she says, "The honest answer is they have better training facilities with people who can train athletes at a professional level. Not saying the kids, but people who train them. We don't have a facility here to focus on them or just look at football. There are a few here and there, but these programs in bigger schools have better opportunities. When kids have to travel a minimum, San Antonio speak for itself. It's not that the Coastal Bend can't have it. You just have to have someone willing to invest in the kids." Yeah, we don't really have any kind of training facilities like that around here where you have some professional training high school athletes year round if you got the kids that want to put in that extra work. Shane Zolikover says, "The fact that many good athletes at younger ages down here are pressured to give up all sports and go baseball only. Some end up hitting baseball because of this thinking by the time they're juniors and seniors in high school." That's facts, man. There'll be a couple of comments like this because I had already gone through them. And these kids that put in the year-round baseball stuff, we just need kids like that to do the same with football or to think that they can get to that next level. You need coaches to make these kids around here think they can get to the next level, or they're not going to care enough to put in that kind of work. But I don't know, man. We can bitch about coaches all we want, but ultimately, if the coaches can only do what they can do so much, and then ultimately it has to be the kid that's like, I want to win a state championship. I want to get to that next level. I want to be better. I want to look and play like the kids from up north. Ultimately, it's on the kids, man. If they're choosing not to do extra, That's on them, man. If all you're doing is what your coach asks you to do during the off season or during football class, or that's not, that'll get you by around here if you're on a good team. That's not going to get you past the teams from north of Austin. It's just not, man. Because those programs that you see in the 5th, 6th round of the playoffs every year, I guarantee you, man, those kids they have a handful of kids, if not all of them. They're dedicated to just football, and they put in the work year round, man. The way kids around here do the baseball stuff. We need more kids like that around here that do the football stuff year round on each team. John Eli, I think he's a Miller fan. He says, I see a lot of people talking year-round training, but isn't select football the same shit? All those youth leagues, some guy said he brought trainers from Austin to the Valley for a camp, and a lot of the coaches discourage the kids not to go, supposedly just because they aren't from the Valley. I don't know how select football and youth football is up north, man. I know down here a lot of it is just... To me, that's a big problem around here. Why kids don't stick with football going up to the high school level is that they get turned off in the youth level because we have a lot of wannabe coaches that don't know at the youth level, that don't know how to talk to kids, man. Look, man, it's just my opinion. I'm no expert, but common sense says you can't talk to a 6, 7, 8-year-old kid the way you talk to an 18-year-old kid that's on varsity. You can't scream at them that way. You can't talk ugly to them. You do that, you're just turning them off, man. You're turning them off, and you're hurting. Your intentions might be right. You know, you're trying to build this badass player to play for the program you root for by the time they get to the high school, and you're having the exact opposite effect, man, because you're causing these kids to want to quit the game, and they don't even make it to the high school level. So what you're trying to do is just you're not doing it. You can't be talking to little kids like they're high school kids, man. It's a big turnoff, man. You youth football coaches step into a mental time machine and imagine the 35, 40-year-old version of you screaming at the 5, 6, 7-year-old version of you. How fucking scared would you be? And turned off would you be to the sport? I mean, use your head. It's just you. Use your head, man. You're having the exact opposite effect on these kids that you want to have. So it's good for you that you're out there putting in your time for free, but you're not helping if you're an asshole to kids. Litos Joel Davina saw these schools have track, and that helps as powerlifting help. One is a U.S. sport. Yeah, I mean, all the programs around here have it. Track, the thing is to encourage your kids to get involved with it. If they don't want to be in track, then do the running on your own, man. It's just, you're never going to get, like I said, man. What you do on your own is where it counts, man, not just what the coaches ask you to do. Agency Fuentes says, where do you start? First, it's teams up north have raw talent. You just don't see that down south. And if you do, it's 1 or 2 kids, while other teams have 8 to 10. Second is development and coaching, as well as being able to adjust. The kids up north are developed young and coached by people who know the game or played at the next level. Down south, they're coached by Tio Poncho. That's facts, man. I mean, you just, like I said, that's what I was just saying right now about the youth game, man. You have a lot of wannabe coaches that, and it's good, man. Thank you for giving up your time to coach these kids for free. But if you don't know how to do it, you shouldn't do it, man. You got to watch how you talk to kids. You're going to turn them off, and they're just never going to get to that next. They're never going to get to the high school level, man. To represent the program that you want them to represent, because you want to cheer for them. You're having a bad effect on them, man. Alma Martinez says, I'm no expert. When I was in high school, the coach recruited players from within the school who never played because of social economics. That's another thing I was talking about too. Yeah, coaches got to go into the hallways and recruit kids, because you never know what you have there that, like I just said, was maybe turned off to the football when they were younger because they had an asshole youth coach. So you never know what's roaming your hallways, man. Maybe just looking for that motivation, the coach to come up to them and say, hey, come give it a shot. You could have talent in your hallways, man. You're never going to know if you don't give it a shot and go searching. I know some coaches do that, so it's not on all coaches. But, Marlo Peterson says universities put on summer clinics for a variety of sports. Parents with the means to do it take their kids to several of these camps every summer. South Texas kids don't have this opportunity. Cities like Dallas, where clinics are held, are so far to travel. David M. Kokota says kids transferring to schools benefit a good program under the radar. The down low is a big part. But there are some parents that simply move. Large part still shady. I don't know, you're CC Vet's dad. You all got some good transfers there during that open enrollment. But I get what he's talking about. It's just transferring. I've always hated transferring. I hate the recruiting coaches do, but look, it happens, and UIL looks the other way for some reason. You can't tell me that Alito, like, legit has 11 state championships in 14 years is not legit. I'm sorry. And you'll argue with their fans online, and they'll say, oh, our kids work hard and this and that. So does everybody else's kids, man, not just yours. You get a lot of elite transfers there that, for whatever reason, that they figure out how to game the system where the UIL either can't touch them or doesn't want to touch them or doesn't care. I don't know. But that's not legit, man. 11 state championships in 14 years. You never saw that back in our day. Nobody was going to win that many state championships in 14 years because it was just the recruiting and transferring wasn't as big as it is now, man. I'm sure there's a kid or two here and there that played where they weren't supposed to be playing, but it's not as widespread as it is now, man. That's why you have teams like Alito winning 11 state championships in 14 years, or Carthage winning. What does Carthage have now? Like 9 or 10 in 14 years also? It's crazy, man. That's just not... Israel Alvarado says it's money, bro, and scouting. Most of the kids up north move to attend good winning schools, state championship schools. Coaches go out of their way to recruit kids to play in their school. It happens, man. It happens, man. I used to be against it, but now I don't know anymore, man. But all these schools you see playing in the 4th, 5th, 6th round of the playoffs, playing on TV at Jerry World, if they're doing it, how do you keep up, man, if you don't do it also? Never really liked it, but I kind of get it, man. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Matthew Mounts posted graphics showing where the percentages of African Americans, Hispanics, and whites live in the state. And I get the point he's making. And so it does matter, man. I get it. We don't have a lot of a certain athlete around here. And I get that part of it, and it would help if we did, but it's just the gap still, in my opinion, just doesn't have to be as big as it is. And that's evident by when you look at sidelines around here. You see so many little skinny kids that look like they've never hit the weight room. Or even the bigger kids that look like they've never hit the weight room. But that's just, to me, we don't have the type of athlete down here that's dedicated the way we as fans wish they were. Not to the level of the teams you're seeing on TV playing Jerry World every year or making it to 5th, 6th round of the playoffs every year. It's just... we don't have it, man, and I wish we did as a fan. You always wish you did, but... So those are some of the comments that were on the posts I had made about that I was going to make this episode a few weeks ago. I want to get into the newer ones, or the Calallen post I made today about how Calallen and Alito, how does Calallen always compete? Before I do, I want to get to one other thing I posted 4 days ago when Port Neches Grove beat South Oak Cliff in the state championship game. And I made a post, is the team without all the D1 athletes just beat the team with all the D1 athletes. So South Oak Cliff is loaded with Division I college athletes. And they got beat by Port Neches Grove, who isn't as loaded as they are. And so I posted this just to make the point of, look, like what I'm talking about right now, what this whole episode is about. You don't have to have all the athletes on your team to win games sometimes, man. It's about being a team. Some people don't understand that, and so they see this because they don't understand what a team is. They think everything's about my race has the best athletes, and they make everything about race. And so one of the first comments was some guy that just say you're happy the black kids lost. And it's just so, what a ridiculous fucking comment, man. What a ridiculous comment, man. And another one, there's so many racial undertones to this post. Really, it sounds pretty simple. The team without all the D1 athletes beat the team with all the D1 athletes. You're the racist if you find race in this. Because athletes come in all colors, not just your color. So to me, you're the one that's racist. You people that think that way and everyone's hitting the like button, I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Stop playing that race card crap, man. It gets old, man. There's real racism in the world. It's ugly. And you diminish it, man, when you play the race card for crap like this. It had nothing to do with race. I've been making this argument for years on here. You all know where I'm coming from with it. It has nothing to do with race. I'm just saying the gap doesn't have to be as big as it is, man. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. It's enough of that, man. Port Neches Grove won. Stop crying. South Oak Cliff lost. You got outcoached, outplayed. Sometimes you don't have to be the best talent to have the better team. It's just that simple, man. So all the other thing I want to mention is the Alice Stadium situation. But let me stop and start this over again because I don't know how much longer I got before. That's race card crap. It's so ridiculous already, man. It's good that we move past the certain ugliness where racism was really big, and we got past that when it comes to sports. And Like the thing with the quarterbacks, man. I remember when people used to wrongfully 30, 40 years ago say black guys can't play quarterback. It was stupid, man. Warren Moon's one of the all-time greats. But that used to be a stupid narrative, racist narrative. And we've gotten past that where there's like half the NFL is black quarterbacks now, man. And that's good, man. That's progress, but it's turning towards gotten so far that you watch these morning shows, man. White commentators won't dare criticize a black quarterback. When you get past that, man, when you just get where everything's equal, everyone's normal. Just stop with the race crap, man. Everything's had to be about race, man. But anyway, that race card crap pissed me off. I need a beer. I had someone tell me on one of the other forums, that forum I was talking about, the website, I'll post a website on the screen somewhere earlier, how it's unprofessional for me to be drinking a beer on these episodes and yada yada. I don't know how it's unprofessional, man. I'm doing this on my own. I'm not in anybody's time, not anybody's clock. He's like, yeah, well, you know, your ultimate goal is to get hired by a school district. How are you ever going to get hired doing... You're drinking beers and saying bad words on your episodes. I'm on my own right now. This is my time. I do this for fun. Nobody pays me for this. If a school district wants to hire me, I know how to be professional. This isn't that. I'm here in my computer desk. This is a hobby I'm just having fun with. Putting out content. Anyway, enough of that. The other thing I want to mention before we got to the Cal Allen stuff is the Atlas new stadium situation. Atlas is proposing, or at least there was a meeting a week or two ago, $25 million to build a new stadium. And immediately, there's people in Atlas that they think, there's this one particular man that owns a lot of land and Atlas property stuff. And for some reason, he thinks everything should go through him. And he doesn't approve of something that shouldn't happen. He's like that anyway. And so once this news came out, he immediately kind of followed the page so he can see what I'm posting. But he roused everybody up to be against it. Newell Atkinson III and then his buddies Ron Burke that are on the city council, they get riled people up to be against this stuff. Anyway, there was a guy who commented that had been at that meeting where they were talking about a proposed new stadium. And so I just wanted to read his comment real quick. He says, I was one of the Atlas citizens at the meeting to address the prospect of a new stadium. Memorial Stadium flunked state inspection and won't pass without rebar replacement, which is an investment of $5 million. It was also pointed out by engineers that there are no guarantees that this will work nor how long it will work. They estimated it might last 5 years if it works, not very practical. And you spend $5 million on something, and what if it doesn't even work? You got to keep spending $5 million. Anyway, some of the options are build a new stadium, or two, gamble that $5 million he just spoke about every so often, and then what if it works, doesn't work, you don't know how long it's going to work. And the third option is do nothing and let the state condemn the present stadium, which will end Coyote football as we know it. He says, I am 66 years old and gave up my tickets 3 years ago. I held season tickets 38 years. I couldn't afford the safety risk of no handrails because the Atlas Stadium doesn't have any handrails. It was attempted to put rails in, but when the concrete was drilled, it cracked due to being so old. I doubt the stadium can be fixed. He says, I don't have family that will probably ever play in this stadium, so for me, I could easily walk away from this. However, I know how much history Coyote football plays a part in the city. This will probably be a voter issue. You as taxpayers and voters have to decide if you want Coyote football for the future. The superintendent outlined a plan and bond proposal that would not increase taxes. So y'all people in Dallas, man, y'all gotta, if you're for this stadium, you gotta get out and vote, man. And I just hope somebody else goes out and votes and gets it done for you. Because the people on the opposition side, they're already rallying everybody up to be against it. So you can bet that their friends, families are going to be going out and voting against it. So if you want that new stadium thing to happen and not to have an end to Coyote football because our stadium gets condemned, y'all need to go out and whenever this bond comes up and vote for it, man. It's Atlas Stadium's almost 80 years old, man. You guys act like they just built a new one 20, 30 years ago. A little more pushback I'll give on that is the people that are against it is just, the comments are asinine to an extent. I mean, Everybody, you have people that are like, fix your test scores first before you build a new stadium. First of all, it's two separate arguments. Secondly, if your kid's test scores suck, then you suck as a parent. Taking the money they're going to use for the stadium and put it into the school instead isn't going to fix your kid's test scores. You as a parent are the only that can fix your kid's test scores. No. Take that $25 million they're going to spend on the stadium and spend it on improving this and that so our test scores. No, you're a shitty parent. Accept it. If your kid's getting D's, F's, failing all these test scores, you're a shitty parent. Stop blaming teachers and administrators. Everybody's little kid is an angel. We've all seen it. We all see it on social media all the time. Everybody's kid's an angel. Nothing's ever their fault. If your kid's failing test scores, that's a parenting problem. That's a parenting problem. That's not a teacher problem. That's not an administrator problem. The only reason this thing with the stadium is even coming up isn't because someone's trying to keep up with the Joneses and get a better stadium. It's just the stadium's on the verge of being condemned. What don't you understand about that? Nobody's playing favoritism with a football team, and it's not just the football team that's going to use a stadium. You understand that, right? It's sub-varsity football uses it. Soccer, boys and girls soccer uses it. Boys and girls track uses it. Use it for the graduation. Use it for band events. And there's so many things the stadium gets used for. This idea, these people that they're just trying to sell you on no new stadium, and oh wow, for 5 home football games a year. No, that's not all it's used for. And like I said, this isn't playing favoritism with your money. They need a new stadium. It's almost 80 years old. Stop your whining. Be better parents and stop blaming teachers and administrators for your kids' failed grades. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the stuff I posted today about Calallen playing for state against Aledo a few years ago. There's so many Miller fans that want to comment, but they already ruined it and they don't. They always go at me for this. It's a 2016 state championship. Calallen barely lost to the Aledo dynasty by 1 touchdown, man. And on the same playoff run, they beat College Station. So this idea that we can't compete with the rest of the state, it doesn't work for Calallen because they compete just fine with the rest of the state. And some people will comment, well, they haven't actually won the state championship. That's not the point, man. They lost to the Aledo Dynasty team by 1 touchdown, as opposed to losing by 60, 70 points. So don't tell me it doesn't matter that they didn't win the state championship. So what? They competed the week before they beat College Station. So Calallen is competing with teams from up there, beating some of them and barely losing to others. Competing is competing, man. Matthew Lookinbill says Calallen beat Aledo in every category, but the most important one, the final score. Calallen had more passing yards, more rushing yards, more first downs. The interception and fumble was a huge play in the second quarter, leading to Aledo's only TD of the first half. Sonny Delgado mentioned how back in the day when Calallen lost those games to Lamarck, they could have won 2 state championships. Yeah, even since back then. I mean, Calallen finds a way to do it. I don't understand why nobody else around here does. For all the talk about and the athletes, and you have a couple of Miller fans and they have all the best athletes. We have the best athletes, yada yada, this and that. You have to look like this to be a great athlete. This is the second year in a row you get knocked out of the playoffs by a bunch of kids from down on the border. All those great athletes that you claim you have there at Miller, and they are. I'm not saying they aren't, but they could mean 2 things. Why are you getting knocked out of the playoffs 2 years in a row by a bunch of kids from down on the border? Number one, they have better athletes than you, even whether you just because they don't look a certain way, don't mean they can't be better athletes. Or they're just a better team than you were. That's the other thing, like we mentioned earlier about Port Neches Grove beating South Oak Cliff, even though South Oak Cliff was loaded with D1 players and Port Neches Grove ain't. You don't have to have the most talented team always to win. And even so, like I said, man, it doesn't matter because my argument has never been that we have the same athletes as up north. Why can't we win? My argument is why don't we? Why don't our kids look like I said, too many sidelines or too many skinny kids that look like they've never hit weight rooms. Frank Santana says, I agree. You look at those kids from teams in the rounds 4, 5, and state games, those kids look like they spend every day in the weight room. That's facts. I mean, that's what we're just talking about right now. John Tyrone replied to him by saying, the difference is when you get up north is the parents invest in their kids. You can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's facts, John Tyrone. I get it. You got, it can be the parents investing in the kids, or it can be the kid themselves. Just go out, hit the weight room more, work on your speed more for sure. There's no reason we can't close the gap. That's my thing. That should be like a rallying cry for every Coastal Bend and Valley kid. Every program, like they should just all, the coaches should just all email, get together, and that should be like a rally cry around here. Is close the gap. Why not, man? Seriously, why not? Why can't there be some kind of rallying cry where all the Coastal Bend kids and the Valley kids, Laredo kids, Brownsville kids, it just becomes some kind of rallying cry for this whole region of the state, and closing the gap. Why not, man? You never know what could help to motivate kids, man. Anything helps. Close the gap. The whole coaching fraternity thing is these guys are all close with each other. Why not, man? All get with each other and just let that be some kind of rallying cry. Why not? Close the gap. It's, like I said, I get it. We don't have certain type of athletes. We don't have kids down here that look like DeSoto or Duncanville or Westlake or yada yada. But the gap can be closed, man. There's no excuse for. And this is just fan talk, of course. Like, nobody here is really thinking these kids have to do this or they have to do that. It's their life, man. This is their high school. We had our chance. We did what we did with it, and we didn't do what we didn't do with it. So it's their time. I get it. Nobody's trying to judge them. This is just a conversation on, why are we so far behind the rest of the state? And to me, it's things like that. We don't have enough kids down here to put in that extra work like they do up north. Imagine some of the better teams we have down here. That's Memorial, Miller, Calallen, GP, Alice, Calhoun, Sinton. Now imagine you get 4 or 5 athletes, really good athletes, that eat, breathe, sleep football, and stick them on those programs. You're competing with anyone in the state now. All of a sudden, is in your class. So to me, it's not as. The idea of competing better isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. You just need a couple of more athletes on each program, a couple of more kids that are just, I want to win states, and I'm going to do what I have to do to eat, breathe, sleep football year-round, hit the weight room, to be stronger, faster, all that stuff, man. I mean, it's easy to say. It's something that's easy to say when you're just doing a podcast episode, man. I get it, man. These kids have lives. They have other things going on in their life. They have other things going on in school. They're going through puberty. No way, you're already. I forgot when you go through puberty. Not when you're a senior. Zachary Solis says every team in South Texas should follow the Calallen mold, under center all through middle school with a little bit of spread mixed in. Really open it up once the kids get to JV varsity. Well, like I just mentioned a while ago. Do not follow the Calallen mold. Not exactly. You will have no wide receivers when you get to varsity, and you need a passing game to win certain type of games. Know that you have to do all that. It's just, well, yeah, you can make that, but Caleb Cooney, he says, kids in this area just aren't dedicated. I don't know the lack of talent that has come from South Texas or what, but they don't have the drive to even want to be that good. I notice a lot. And then they want crazy. See, that's what I'm talking about too. There's not enough kids like that have that drive to want to be. It's like us as fans care more about us getting to be competitive with the rest of the state than the players from down here do themselves. And I get it. Like I said, man, I'm trying to judge young people. We already had our chance, but that's what this episode's about. So that's what we're gonna do. People around this area just need to hit the weights more and work on speed more. That's, to me, that's the bottom line. But it's not going to happen if you don't at least have a handful of kids on each program that want it themselves, because, like I said, you can only put so much on the coach, man. The coach can only do so much. The coach can lead you in the right direction. But you can do what the coach asks you to do, but what are you doing on your own for that extra stuff, man, that they're doing up north, man? But, yeah, man, like I said, my whole thing has never been that, how are we losing these games? The teams from up north, we're equal to talent. No, we're not. I know we're not, man. But something can be done to close that gap is all I'm saying. Underutilized talent, again, like we were saying earlier, I think there's a lot of that around here, man. In the Valley and the Coastal Bend, a lot of underutilized talent. What do you do to motivate that, man? I don't know. I think UTRGV opening up a D1 football program in the Valley, I think that's going to help the Valley. I think kids up north having all these Division I colleges, surrounded by all these Division I colleges, getting to attend games and be around that type of talent. You are what you surround yourself with, man. All these kids up north are surrounded by all that type of atmosphere, a bunch of D1 big programs. I don't know. To me, it's a mental thing. It gives you a sense of feeling like that can be you someday. We don't have that here in South Texas. The Valley's just now getting it with UTRGV opening up, I think, in 2025. I wish Texas A&M University Corpus, they have a D1 basketball program. It'd be nice if they got a Division I football program, so kids around here can have something like that to be around and look up to. It as something they could possibly attain themselves, man. I don't know, man. Yeah, man, another comment someone made that I posted about is that Matt Lynch says, where are all the Corpus area schools at? Because I posted a graphic of where all the state championships came from this year, and it's up there in the Dallas and Houston area, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston area. He said, I've said it before, Corpus for baseball traditionally, historically can't compete with the rest of the state when it comes to football. Are you really doing any better in baseball, though? I think to me that's more of a narrative than facts. Yeah, we've had some random state championships around here. But we're not really putting any kids in the MLB, are we? Jose Trevino's the only one that comes to mind. We're not even putting many kids in major D1 college baseball programs. So I don't know where this narrative comes from that we're so good here in South Texas at baseball and not football. And I don't know, man. Anyway, man, but I wish that would stop, man. I wish these kids that are still playing... These kids that are still playing baseball in August, man, what are you doing? It's your right, your choice, your life. Us as fans can only wish that by that time you're already concentrating on football. Us as football fans can only wish that. But I get it. That's your choice, though, man. But that's why you're going to be on the football field crying, getting knocked out of the playoffs by a team that has kids that went the extra mile and weren't playing baseball in August. You know, you're going to be on the field crying, knocked out of the playoffs, or not even in the playoffs, or whatever it might. You get my point. I mean, you don't want to feel like that when you're older, man. I have so many regrets when I played, man. That's why I am the way I am when I talk. It's not like I'm trying to judge like if I was all that or if my season went great. It didn't, man, and that's why I feel the way I feel. That's why I talk the way I talk. I do that ugliness you still feel 30 years later, man. That game we lost to the district champion by 1 touchdown. The game we lost to the second place team by 1 point. The game we lost to the third place team by 3 points. You know, what could I have done back then? A little better, a little extra that could have helped the team win those 3 games and made all the difference in the world, so that when you're, 30 years down the road, you're not still thinking about nonsense like that, man. And it never goes away, man. That pain never goes away. You can hide it. But, unless you gave it your all. The only way that the pain's not going to go away of losses is if you gave it your all and there's nothing you could have done different. And so that's all I'm saying, man, is close the gap. Kids around here in the Valley, the coaches need to come together and just all have some kind of rally cry about closing the gap with the rest of the state. So we aren't talked about the way we're talked about anymore. And winning state championships or not, we could at least be competitive, man, to get that respect. And some of it is not earned, man. To me, like Alice and Port Lavaca just blew out 2 legit 4A Austin area teams from the playoffs, but we're not going to get talked about that way. Those Austin area programs are still going to get talked about with more respect than we are down here, even though we just blew them both out of the playoffs. So I think to me a lot of it's narratives. Narratives don't help, but there's things we can do around here still, man. I think, yeah, like I said, there should be some kind of rally cry about closing the gap. So that's about it. The stuff I wanted to talk about with this. I do want to mention, what is the other thing I want to mention? Oh, I came up with a Gridiron Demigod of the Year. I want to start doing that. It's the Jaden Smith kid from Ingleside, the wide receiver who's a senior this year. I think he had 84 catches for like 1,895 yards and 39 touchdowns, I think. Something like that. I know that 39 touchdowns at one point was like a national record for touchdowns by a wide receiver in a season. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I apologize. If anyone knows Jaden Smith or one of his coaches, I'll get with him eventually. One of the McHughes. I want to make my own trophy to give him. That's the way I like doing things. I'm not gonna go pay someone else to do it or buy something. I'm gonna make my own. I don't know. I'm gonna go buy a helmet and put the blood splatter on it. I'm just gonna find a way to make it look pretty cool, so I can end up giving it to the Jaden Smith kid. So anyone knows Jaden Smith or whatever, let him know that he's the Gridiron Demigod of the Year for South Texas Bloodsport. Is the Gridiron Demigod of the Year. I think that's about it. Tight, man. Every time I make one of these videos, I say I'm gonna do this every week. I'm gonna do this every week and stop being lazy. What's the motivation now that there's no football? I don't know, but I probably this is how I get paid from Facebook is to put out videos and to get views. So I don't know. That's another thing I'm thinking of doing for next year. Is instead of making the badass 5-minute videos where I use my professional camera with, is just put out stuff I do with my phone, because that's what gets the most views for some reason. I don't get it. You guys want the instant quick stuff that gets put out my phone footage live as on the spot in real time as it's happening, as opposed to a video I take hours of film and hours to edit and just doesn't get as many views as that other stuff. So I don't know, I'm thinking of doing that for next year. It's just the quick video stuff instead. But anyway, those of you watching, go follow me on all the different platforms. It helps the algorithms, helps me to grow. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever that's called now. TikTok, Instagram. Follow me on all the different socials. Thank you guys for following. Hit the subscribe button. There's a subscribe option also. Right now, the only thing in the subscription option is a bunch of 7-on-7 I filmed before the season started. So you go hit that subscribe button for $4.99 a month. You get so much extra stuff. I'm lying. Right now it's only 7-on-7, but next year all my videos are going to go in the subscription only center. So go hit the subscribe button just on Facebook, just for the hell of being a supporter. $4.99 a month. Do it. But thank you guys for following. I think I'm at about 13,300 followers right now on Facebook. We need to hurry up because the South Texas Football Unlimited guys are catching me. They're at 12. They're over 12,000 now. I don't want them to catch me, and they are, and I'm going to get pissed off. But thank you guys for following. Go support them also. AC Williams also is photography. Support everything local. Just support everything local, man. So we can keep doing this stuff and bringing you this this content, this entertainment. Like me or not, you know, it's a page for entertainment. But thank you guys for following. And see you next week, hopefully.